All right, welcome to Hypatia Academy. There's several ways to do Python. We're going to show you different editors. Okay, at the most simple, you can just run Python on your machine. Right, this is version 373. I can declare a variable x equal to print x. Okay, that's the Python interpreter. Now, it's interactive, meaning we can write a program for I, L, and range 10, print L. So it just runs, and then we can debug it line by line, which is quite different from writing a program, say in another language like Java, where you have to write the program and then can compile it and run it later. It's actually a lot easier to run it line by line. All right, let's look at the next editor. Okay, the next environment is called Jupyter. It's very similar to another one called Zeppelin. Jupyter in the past was called IPython. This is a graphical environment, which means it supports graphics. From the Python command line, you can't do graphics. Like, look, for example, here's some Python code that I had copied into my clipboard. It uses a library called matplotlib to do charting. If I run this, it draws a chart. Okay, other than that, it's just a regular Python interpreter. V is equal to 2, print V, run it. Okay, so that's Jupyter. The other thing about Jupyter is it supports multiple languages, and it can be hooked to back-end databases, like, for example, Apache Spark. Large systems designed to do data science and big data, which is something that we'll cover in advanced classes in some months. Okay, now we'll look at the next environment. All right, this is called PyCharm. Now this and Python and Jupyter that we looked at, they're all free, but PyCharm has a paid version as well. It's written by JetBrains, which are the same people who wrote IntelliJ, which is a very advanced tool for writing Java code. So it has a lot of those features here. When you download this, just make sure you get the free version, unless you want to pay for the enterprise version. Now, this provides a little bit of, like, for example, code completion. See, like here, in this import statement here, I've got imported this library called OS. So then when I type OS dot, it knows what kind of object I'm dealing with. So it helps me here. It says, oh, I can use OS read, OS close, for example. And then it does things like suppose I take this space out of here. It should give me a recommendation. Well, okay, interesting. It gives me a way to, it's complaining about the name I'm using, JSON, for the name of an object. But it does things like it will refactor your code, meaning put spaces in there. It will even do things like show you a more efficient way of doing things. Okay, let's just look at it real quickly. So when you run a program, it just runs here in this run window. I made the screen a little bigger, so you can see the output here. But there's also this thing called terminal. So this takes you to the command line, but it's a little bit more than the command line. When you're running PyCharm, you're running it in a virtual environment. Virtual environment is something that we will explain. It's a way to have multiple versions of Python on your computer at one time. And then, for example, I can do this pip install that will install this simple JSON package in my environment without messing up other environments. Okay. And then there's the Python console. So, right here in one tool, I've got ability to write and run code, ability to get to the command line, and then the Python console interpreter, F equals 2, printf. This is a nice tool for learning and for advanced users as well.